Hey everybody, we're continuing our series on rhythm patterns, and today we're going to be going over our 6-note rhythm pattern over our second chord progression. So like all the other videos, we're going to start with the basics. We're doing all these in the key of C, so you start with a C major scale, which is this: C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And then we use numbers with the number system to play that major scale. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And then we're going to use chords to play over that major scale. So the first chord is a C. The second chord is a D minor. The third chord is a slash chord. That's a 1 over a C bass, or 1 over 3. The fourth chord is an F. Fifth chord is a G. The sixth chord is a minor. That's an A minor. Seventh chord is a slash chord. That's a 5 over a 7. And then your last chord's a 1. So it's... But we don't like to play it like that because it doesn't sound very good. So that's the reason why we came up with these 5 chord progressions to play in place of that major scale progression. So the second chord progression, it goes like this. Have you ever wanted to learn how to play your favorite worship songs on piano? Well, I have something that's perfect for you. It's called Worship Piano Academy. It's an online space to help people of all skill levels learn to play worship piano exactly like the pros do. It's packed full of simple techniques that are easy to follow and tailored specifically for worship piano players. If you're brand new to piano, we have all the basic lessons to get you on track. If you've been playing for a while, we have tons of advanced lessons and tips for you too. So check out worshippianoacademy.com. Basically, with your right hand, you're playing a C in the root position, and you're bouncing between the sus4 and a C sus2. Another way to call it is just C4 and C2. And then you play these as you walk the bass up that major scale. So the first chord is a C. And the second chord, instead of a D minor, we play a C4 over a 2, or over a D. So it would be 1 sus4 over 2. Our third chord is a 1 over 3, or C over E. Our fourth chord is a C4 over F. Our fifth chord is a C2 over G. Our sixth chord, instead of an A minor, is a C over A. And then our seventh chord is a C2 over B instead of a G over B. And then our last chord is a C. So if you play that together, like that. And then the rhythm pattern that we're using is 16th notes. And so you start with quarter notes because that's kind of the baseline of rhythm patterns. So a quarter note just means that there's 4 quarter notes inside a measure of music. And you count that 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if you double that rhythm pattern, then you get 8th notes, and you count that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then 16th notes, which is what we're going to be doing, is double 8th notes, and you count that 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. So that 16th note rhythm pattern is how we're going to play this 6th note rhythm pattern. And then the 6 notes that we hit, it's very, very simple when you think about it. The only notes that we're hitting is 1s and 5s. So if you're in the key of C, C is your 1 note, and your 5 note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is a G note. So it's a combination of 1s and 5s in different octaves. So basically, if we're playing a C here, it's a 5, 1, 5, and then 1, 5, 1. So that's all it is. It's those 6 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 5 of them are with the right hand. So I play it like that, and then I bring my left hand up to play that 1 note to give my right hand just a little bit of time to come and hit the last 2 notes. And that's it. So it's the same notes regardless of which chord you're playing, which chord you're going into. It's always going to be 5, 1, 5, 1, 5, 1 into the chord change. And then if a chord change is going to be on the 1 beat, that 6-note rhythm pattern, we play that and a, 4, E, and a into the chord change. So if you count it, it'd be 1, 2, 3, and a, 4, E, and a into the chord. And so we'll kind of play this rhythm pattern, and we'll slowly walk up that major scale progression to show you how it goes. So we start with the C, 1, 2, 3, and a, 4, E, and a into the next chord, 2, 3, and 4, E, and 1, 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 2, 3, and 4, E, and then you end it. And so if you speed that up with the rhythm, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Like that. So if you notice, depending on which key you're in, sometimes I like to use my thumb or maybe another finger to double up on 2 notes. So when I went to the sus2 over the 5 and then over the 7, it's easier because my hand's right here, and then instead of bringing kind of my first, second, and third finger to play that chord, sometimes it's easier to just use my thumb and hit both of those notes together. So you can do it like that, or you can do it like that. So the finger placement doesn't really matter as long as you can get it. So practice different finger positions, use one finger to play 2 notes, use 2 finger to play 2 notes, whatever, just mess around with it and then find what works for you. And then as long as you can play it smooth and play it correctly, then that's perfectly fine. And so now let's play the same progression, but we'll have the chord changes on the 1 and the 3 beat. And so then our rhythm pattern is going to be and a 2 E and then and a 4 E and going into those chord changes. So it'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Let's walk down. And then if chords are spread out a little bit further, you can keep rhythm in your right hand by just playing quarter notes on whatever chord that you're on. And then when you get to the chord change, you can do your rhythm pattern that leads into that chord change. So let's try that, where we have a chord change on the 1, and then we'll do quarter note rhythm hits with our right hand on the 2 and the 3, and then we'll do our rhythm pattern into the next chord change. So it'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and walk down. And so obviously when you're playing songs, the chords don't walk all the way up and down this progression, right? They're going to be chords inside this progression, but they'll be, kind of jumping around inside there. So it's important to just not walk up and down, but choose different chords inside that progression. So let's just try 4, 1, 5, 6, and then we'll kind of jump around to different chords and see how this rhythm pattern can play with those chord changes. Jump around a little bit. Like that. And so once you're comfortable playing that in the key of C, it's really important to play in different keys because your hand positioning is going to change once you start to include these black notes. Like for example, in the key of C, when I did the 1 sus2 over 5, I used my thumb to hit both of those notes. But if you're in the key of E, you're trying to use the thumb to hit the E and the F sharp, and it just doesn't work. So then you have to use 2 fingers to hit both of those 2 notes. So same thing when you get to other keys, you're going to have to switch up your fingering. So it's important to just play in every key and figure out which fingers you're going to use for which chord changes and things like that. So let's do that. Let's start in the key of C and let's go through all 12 keys and just see how that goes. And then D. E. And then F. And then G. Let's move down here. A. And then B. And now let's do the sharps and flats. So let's do C sharp. And then E flat. Messed up on that a little bit. And then F sharp. And then G sharp. Move down here. And then B flat. And that's it. So that was a little bit harder, but work on that, and then I will see you in the next lesson.